I'm Corbitt with DVAuction, here with your feeder flash for Tuesday, August the 26th, brought to you in part by Kansas Regenerative Medical Center. Transform your health with stem cell therapy. It's a good alternative to painful surgery. About 60% of Kansas RMC's patients are farmers and ranchers. For more information, go to kansasrmc.com. Also, Beaver County Stockyards in Beaver, Oklahoma, another big sale for them. They're expecting around 6,000 head for their Tuesday cattle auction. Be starting at 7 o'clock in the morning. They're going to have a good run of calves. They got 1,800 calves, most of them weighing 400 to 600 pounds. They've got a lot of 50 to 100, 120 head calf strings that they're selling. So you could get in there and get a lot of cattle there from not too many sources. They've got 90 head of hard weaned ex-roping calves. Now if you want something that won't die, and we'll get into some forage there, get into those. Got another group of 60-day weaned ranch raised calves coming in, 90 head of those. The balance will be mostly not weaned, but pretty much all of them will have had at least one round of shots, and that's very important there. They've got about 850 yearling heifers, most of them weighing 600 to 700 pounds. Not too many square loads of heifers, mostly packages, but sure you can put together some nice loads of heifers there. Going to have 2,400 head of yearling steers, be over 25 square loads of yearling steers in there. Most of them 7 to 9 weights. They've got one big consignment. I mean, long haul coming from North Texas, and not the Texas Panhandle, the North Texas down around Wichita Falls area. 900 head of them. 700 of those will weigh in the 8s. 200 of them will weigh in the 7s, and all of them have condition to go back to grass or to be turned out on wheat if you choose to do that. The condition on them is green and outstanding, guys. I mean, still got a condition to graze. You don't see that very often. But check those out. Going to be another 300 head of string of yearling steers come from up in Fort Kansas. It'll be real nice set of yearling steers there if you're interested in those. Got about 800 cows to sell after the feeders. There'll be 19 of the fanciest bred heifers you ever seen in your life. They're Angus and start calving September the 2nd. I've got 45 older bred cows that'll be selling there. 45 pairs that'll be selling in there. They're kind of 5 to 6 year olds. But just a lot of older bred cows and packer cows. But be a big sale. Check them out at DVAuction.com. If you view and bid there, you got to get a hold of Jerry early if you want to be approved. Now she wants to talk to you if you're going to be approved to bid. So get a hold of them early and get approved there, guys. Beaver County Stockyards. A clown barrel, and I tell you what, we had a wild ride on the futures on Monday. Like we thought, you know, of course they had that story that come out about a human coming down with the screw worm, and they lived in Maryland and they had been traveling to Guatemala, and I'm not sure what any of that had to do with the cattle business. But right off the bat, it had to go, and it dipped down, dove right down right off the bat, but slowly came back. Some of your back months were still down quite a bit, but it came back a whole bunch. So we're not scared about the market. Nobody even remembers what the cattle on feed report was. So we're back to you know, just going on this rally and seeing how long it will last. The market was very impressed with the Southern Plains last week, getting 240. That was $5 jump for them, and just a $5 discount to the Northern Plains now, and they've been running about a $10 discount to that. So the market really liked that. These packers are going to try to use Labor Day as a clown barrel. They've got these packers coming after them, wanting higher prices. They are going to be using that as a stumbling block, trying to prevent any higher prices. And I'm sure they'd love for the market to lay back a little bit, but I don't see that. I would expect steady, but these cattle feeders are going to want more money again. But the packers are going to use last week's pretty sizable movement of negotiated trade, 68,000. That's more than we've been doing by a long shot. They're going to use that. They're going to act like they don't need any cattle. They're going to talk about being closed down on Labor Day Monday and say that they just got all the cattle that they need. They don't need to buy hoof. So I'm not sure how many cattle feeders really need to sell a hoof. The temperatures have moderated a whole bunch and actually turning downright cool in the center part of the United States there. So I'm not sure if they need to sell anything. So I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see much, if any, trade that happens this week, as we're going to be kind of in a standoff here. But man, this feeder cattle in the sale barns just keeps going up. I mean, just records every day, everywhere. You know, if they had a sale at midnight on Sunday night, you know, it would be a record. I'm not sure if any of you saw it. I probably should have talked about it for Monday's report, but it was pretty full. But I want to tell you about the Jordan cattle auction in San Saba, Texas. It was last Saturday, and that's down there where that's cow country in Texas. 1,900 head they had there, and they sell them high, guys. They had bred heifers in there selling from $4,000 to $6,100 for bred heifers. Had a lot of bred heifers. A lot of young to middle-aged bred cows selling from $4,000 up to $5,500. Thought that was pretty impressive. But look at the pairs. Young to light middle-aged pairs there selling from $5,000 to $6,700 per pair. Wow. And that $6,700 was on some F1 Tiger Stripe Brayfords there. That's what they like down there. But man, oh man, talk about handsome prices on replacement stock, guys. I don't know of any place any higher. I'm sure there'll be a few, but man, that was a good sell for Jordan Cattle Company in San Saba, Texas. Talk about your board for Monday to open the week. August live cattle futures were up 27 cents at 240.22. October was down $1.05, 236.82, and then your back months were all mixed on your live cattle trading from down $1.10 to up 80, so just all mixed in there. Feeder cattle futures for August up 50 cents at 360.85. September was down 77 at 361.90. And then your back months were all lower from 72 cents to 192 lower on feeder cattle. Your grain futures corn, December new crop corn up 3/4 cent at 412 1/4. November new crop beans were down 10 3/4 at 1047 3/4 cent. And hard red winter wheat for December, start talking about December, that's where all the trade's at, down 1/4 cent a bushel at 520 3/4. Let's talk about your weighted average on last week's negotiated fed cattle trade in your 5-area feeding region. Traded 68,000 cattle, and that's a lot better than we've been doing down in the 40s, compared to 47,300 the previous week and 42,300 the same week a year ago. Live sales of fat steers and heifers negotiated from $237 to $248. That was $2 to $7 higher. Your weighted average on live steers, $244 1/4. That was up $2.24 compared to the previous week's weighted average. Dress sales in the 5-area negotiated range from $380 to $392. That was $2 to $4 higher. And your dress steers had a weighted average price of $386.17, $3.39 higher than the previous week's weighted average. As a whole, your Southern Plains market, like I mentioned earlier, $5 higher at $240. Northern Plains steady to $5 higher at mostly $245, and dress sales $5 to $7 higher from 385 to 392. Nationwide, we sold 79,200 negotiated cattle last week compared to 59,000 the previous week, 54,700 the same week a year ago. Of that 79,200, we traded about 29,800, or 37.5% of those were for the 2 to 4 week delivery. That'll be something else the packers can use to try to hold the market up over the holiday week there. Negotiated grid sales totaled 34,800 head last week. Forward contracts 40,050 head. And formula sales last week 238,050 head. Of the 4 out of 5 regions that we get negotiated sales from, I'm going to give those totals to you. Iowa sold 32,100. Nebraska sold 22,700, a little bit light for them. Kansas sold 8,600, and Texas sold 4,700. So pretty good movement as a whole last week. Box beef cutout values higher again to start the week. Choice cuts up 58 cents at 408.49. Selects up $1.72 at 385.38. Look at your slaughter. This Monday was a lot better than the last few Mondays. It's been really light to start the week. But this Monday they estimated cattle slaughter at 107,000. That's 7,000 more than last week and 7,000 less than the same week a year ago. Talk about what else is going on. The Punchy Pick of the Month contest, it's coming again, guys. It comes around quicker than a pickup payment. We are getting geared up for that. We've had pictures being sent in all month there. We're getting them all rounded up and picking the best one. You got just the rest of this week to get them in for this month. But of course our sponsors for that, Great Plains Livestock Consulting, they do a good job, guys. They can save you money, a lot more than what their fees are, to help you out. They can help you procure your feedstuffs, help you make decisions but about genetics, about all kinds of things there, and help you out. Just being a friendly consultant, because we all need one sometimes. And that's they sponsor the Kids Corral, and that's a $200 gift certificate to Cavender's Boot City. Punchy Pick of the Month sponsored by Beaver County Stockyards, and always have been. Of course, Beaver, we just talked about what a big sale they're going to have, and they have grown to be a regional market in the Southern Plains, guys. And also Fair Peace. Fair Peace gives away a whole case of their product there, and that's something everybody needs to try, and you need to get on that. To qualify for the Punchy Pick of the Month, just take a picture with your phone and email that picture to punchy@nationalbeefwire.com. You're automatically entered. So pretty good deal there. Let's talk about your feeder cattle market, brought to you by Specialty Risk Insurance. They're working to protect your livelihood. Your real-time index, based on an 800-pound cash auction steer, it's a 7-day moving average up through your middle 12 states. Late in the day, after your sales that concluded on Monday, was sitting at 357.98. That was 86 cents higher than last week, the end of last week. Look at your CME cash feeder cattle index. It was dragging behind, and then all of a sudden, bang, it's right up there with your RTI at 357.92. Talk about your big sales on Monday. Of course, Oklahoma National Stockyards in Oklahoma City, that's 6,250 head. Feeders sold $4 to $10 higher. Steer calves were $10 to $20 higher, spots more. Heifer calves over 500 pounds were 8 to 12 higher. The lighter weight heifers were kind of unevenly steady there, but man, just dollars and dollars higher every single week, seems like. Stick out sale out of the city was National Livestock Commission sold 83 steers, weighed 765 at 377. Joplin Regional Stockyards had 10,400 head. They're not going to have a sale next Monday, and neither is Oklahoma City, so not going to have that. Joplin is having a special cow sale on Wednesday of this week at 4:30 in the afternoon. But man, did they have a good feeder cattle auction on Monday. Steers sold $5 to $17 higher. Heifers sold $5 to $20 higher, with heavy six-weight heifers as much as $25 higher. And it's not like they had a slouch sale last week. It was a lighter receipts, but because of the heat. But man, those are sharply higher. Joplin was your Superior Steel Sales, home of Superior Standard Handling Equipment. Stick-out sale of the day. And you look at this automated marker report through Cattle Market Central, and you see your best tested weights, which are all of them. That's the way Joplin is. That's why they're always their stick-out sale here for the Tuesday report. Had 534 head of 4-weight steers in Joplin. They averaged 450 pounds at 475.54 on the weighted average. 679 head of the 5-weight steers averaged 544 pounds at 425.94. 1,576 head of 6-weight steers, they averaged 646 at 393.19. 1,286 head of the 7-weight steers averaged 750 at 369.78. And 1,076 head of 8-weight feeder steers in Joplin averaged 848 with a weighted average price of 346.79. Now look at the heifers. 616 head of 4-weight heifers averaged 457 at 405.32. 1,045 head of 5-weight heifers averaged 557 pounds at 379.83 on the weighted average. 1,318 head of 6-weight heifers at JRS averaged 646 at 372.81. And 598 head of the 7-weight heifers in Joplin averaged 753 at 338.62. The most impressive quote that I saw individually that come out of Joplin on Monday was 111 head of 924 pound steers bring 350 and a half. Wow. How about some individual quotes from all around? How about Overbrook Livestock Commission in Overbrook, Kansas? They sold 70 steers, weighed 707 pounds at 408 and a quarter. Russell Livestock Market in Russell, Iowa, DVAuction broadcaster there in a good premium sale. They sold 61 steers, weighed 804 at 369.75. But the most impressive quote that I saw anywhere on Monday in your Macrocin No BS top quote for the day come out of Callaway Livestock Center in Kingdom City, Missouri. It was heifers. 84 heifers weighed 634 and bring 405. And that's your feeder flash for Tuesday.